So let's get started by opening the Chrome browser and navigating to parallels.com. Once the page loads, click on Download Free Trial, and on the next page, click on Download Now. The file will start downloading. And I'll just minimize the browser window so it's out of our way. And once the download finishes, we just click on it down in the dock to open the file and start the installation. Double-click on the install icon. Next, click on the Open button to start the installation. Enter your password. And the installation is complete. The computer is asking us if we want to allow Parallels to send us notifications. We will accept because some of these notifications might be useful. Here, Parallels is asking us if we would like to start by installing our first virtual machine, specifically to install Windows 10. We're not going to install Windows 10 in this video, so we will skip this step. And that's it. Parallels is now installed and ready to be used on our computer. Here, I'm just going to quit Parallels for now. And on the right side here, I'm going to eject the Parallels DMG volume that was created during the installation. Okay, now that Parallels is installed on our computer, we are ready to start installing our first virtual machine running macOS on it. So let's start by starting Parallels Desktop. When you see this download and install Windows 10 screen, skip it again just like we did before. And we get to the installation assistant screen. Now, before we continue with the actual installation of macOS virtual machine, let's change some settings in Parallels. So I do not want to install the virtual machine onto my hard drive in my computer. I prefer to install it onto an external disk drive. And the reason is that I am doing this on a MacBook Pro with 512 gigabytes of disk space, where more than half of the disk space is already occupied by existing files. And given the fact that each macOS Parallels virtual machine installation seems to occupy about 60 gigabytes of disk space, I choose not to save it onto my computer. I would rather save it onto an external drive and plug that drive into my computer whenever I need to boot the virtual machine macOS installation. You might be in a different situation. You might have most of your disk space free on your computer. If that's the case, you don't have to worry about this and you can just leave this setting on the default. But if you also want to save the virtual machine onto an external hard drive, you should follow steps just like I do in this video. So let's change the settings by going to Parallels Desktop Preferences and click on the little lock icon to unlock the settings options. Enter your password. And here we see that we have a virtual machines folder setting. It's currently set up to save the virtual machines in their /users/peter/parallels folder on my computer. It's going to be /users/your computer username/parallels on your computer. So we want to change this to point to an external hard drive instead, because that's where the installation will be saved. So to do that, first I'm going to plug an external hard drive into my computer. So it's going to show up on the top right corner of my screen. And it just showed up. Don't let the Windows 10 label confuse you. The reason why my external drive is labeled Windows 10 is because I originally set it up to install Windows 10 virtual machine on it, and that's why it got labeled Windows 10. But now I'm adding a macOS virtual machine to that external hard drive. So the names just remain the same, but the Windows 10 is not actually the virtual machine that we are creating now. It's just the name of the external drive. So now that it's plugged in, let's go and click on the virtual machines folder option and select other. Here, select the name of your external hard drive in the locations section. Click on open, and now you see the volumes/Windows 10 path here that points to the external hard drive instead of pointing into the internal computer location. Okay, so let's lock in the settings by clicking on the lock again, and we can close the window. Okay, now that we have that set up, the virtual machine will be saved onto our external hard drive, so keep it plugged in the whole time. In order to install macOS onto our virtual machine, we have to install it from the recovery partition on our computer. So there's an option in Parallels Installation Assistant that will help you do that very easily. And to find it, we have to scroll to the right in this Free Systems section. So let's scroll to the right until we land on the section that shows this option called Installed macOS version number, in my case 10.15.6, using the recovery partition. In your case, the version number might be different. If that's the case, don't let that confuse you. It's okay. Just select that option. So let's select the option and click on Continue. And this is where the installation of the virtual machine will start. So let's click on Install. And here the virtual machine is being created. This step will take a little time, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Okay, and now virtual machine is created and the installation process of macOS is in progress. I'm going to speed it up a bit again. Okay, so looks like we are at the screen where the system is asking us what language we want the operating system to communicate with us. I'm in an English-speaking country, so I'm going to choose English. On this screen, we choose the Reinstall macOS option. It will basically reinstall macOS onto the virtual machine from the recovery partition on our computer. And continue. On this screen, choose the option Macintosh HD and click on Install. This installation process will take a while, so I'm going to speed up the video again. Okay, looks like our computer restarted, so we just let it reboot. And when I say computer here, I mean our virtual machine. I'm going to speed it up again a little bit. Okay, we are presented with the region selection screen. So in my case, I live in the United States, so I'm going to scroll down and find the United States and select that option and click on Continue. And continue again, continue. We are not going to transfer any information to this Mac for now, so just leave the Don't Transfer Any Information option. Click on Continue. We're not going to sign into our Apple account at this point either, so we just skip by clicking on Set Up Later. Skip. We agree to terms and conditions, and we create our account. I'm going to fill in the full name John Smith, and that will generate the account name John Smith. I'm going to put in the password, and click on continue. Of course, you put in your username, your own full name. On this Express setup page, we just click on continue. We click on continue on the analytics page as well. Screen time, you click on continue. I'm not going to be using Siri in this virtual machine, so I'm going to disable it so it doesn't run there consuming resources unnecessarily. So disable it and click on continue. And we are almost done. And looks like our virtual machine installation is complete. There's one more step that we need to do to make our virtual machine experience pleasing. There is something called Parallels Tools that we should install. It's a software that will be installed into your virtual machine, and what it does for you, it does a whole bunch of things, but the two important things are, one, it's going to create an icon on your desktop in the virtual machine that will allow you to drop files and folders into it, and those files and folders will then be available on the host operating system, on your actual MacBook Pro macOS installation. So you can share files between your virtual machine and your actual MacBook Pro macOS installation. That's one benefit. The other benefit I want to mention is that installing Parallels Tools will allow you to change the screen resolution in the virtual machine so that you can resize the screen and you can make it fit your computer screen, so you don't have to work with this square or rectangular size window. You can make it will allow you to make the window much larger and much more comfortable to work with. So let's install Parallels Tools by clicking on the yellow rectangle with the exclamation mark in it at the top right and choosing Install Parallels Tools from there. Click on Continue. We don't want to do Catalina updates at this point, so we just skip it. Close this window. So Parallels Tools volume was created on our desktop inside the virtual machine, so we double click on it to get the Parallels installation started. Now we have Parallels Tools installation wizard. We double click on the install icon and just wait until the installation completes. At some point it will ask us to restart the computer, so when we get to that we will restart. I'm just going to speed up the installation process because it takes a while. And here we go. It's asking us to restart the machine. So I'm going to click on restart and the virtual machine will get restarted. Okay, here's our login screen for the user that we created. Enter your password and hit enter. And the Parallels Tools installation is complete. We can close the Parallels Tools installation window, and we can also eject the Parallels Tools volume. And that's it.